Hi and welcome to the April edition of Cycle Speed's Etape du Tour training program. Now in this issue we're going to be looking at pushing the envelope a little bit because we've had some easy months, January, February, March. We've said let's keep it nice and easy, and at some point we're going to have to start pushing the envelope a bit, making your body adapt to new things. And in fact we've already done it a bit in the February issue where we looked at cadence, and it's basically that's the kind of thing. It's you're teaching your body to adapt to pedaling faster, and your body basically has to learn to do that, and the more you do it the easier it becomes. And so what we're doing here is actually more like a cardiovascular thing where we're looking at our heart, our lungs, muscles, the whole thing, the blood flow, just working hard on the bike basically and getting the body to learn how to do that, because it's only by pushing your limits and making the body think, hey, I'm going to be doing this regularly, I better grow some more muscle, I better strengthen my heart, widen my arteries. By doing that, by pushing beyond what you're comfortable with, only by doing that can you improve to the next level. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do this to do the Etape, but if you do want to improve, then at some point you are going to have to push yourself and hurt yourself a little bit to get yourself up to that next level. So yeah, let's get out there. We're going to go to a hill nearby, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we are on the hill in question. Now, I spent a while warming up, and this hill is about a 6-minute climb if you're going for it a bit. It's anything between about 5 and 3%. This first part here is the hardest. So what we're going to do is just slowly wind it up. Zone 2 to 3, we'll go into zone 4 and keep the cadence nice and high. Regular breathing, nice and comfortable. It's going to feel fairly hard work, but not too bad for most of it. And then what we're going to do is, for the last quarter or so, just really push it, get into zone 5B even, so it's pretty much max, and hold that for as long as you can. Finish hard at the top of the summit, and by doing that the body will adapt and think, wow, that was tough, I need to adapt, I need to make some changes. And next time you come to do it, it'll feel that bit easier. So we're in zone 4 here, high zone 4s. This is about right, fairly good sort of level. A little bit hard to talk. Sort of level you couldn't keep up for an hour, certainly.
here. It's not quite steep. Head is nice and high.
This is 7th gear in the small ring on a 2311. What's that, about 13, I guess. Okay, that's well over half done. A little bit high on the heart. Okay, now let's push it a bit, see if we can get it up a bit higher. Here we go. Hold it nice and high. Here's the summit. Hold it. Keep going. And there you go. Well, that's definitely zone 5B. It's hard to talk. And if you feel slightly sick, that's a good sign. That means you worked hard. And your body will thank you for it. And you'll thank me for it on July the 15th. So you can just relax, cool off. Nice easy pedalling. Let the heart rate come right back down. And after 10 minutes or so of easy pedalling, if you feel like you can do another one, then that's great. Knock it out, do one more, or even two more if you're feeling brutal. And then the rest of the ride, just ride home gently. And then next day, just do an easy ride and let the body adapt, and it will. Okay, so there is another exercise you can do, which I don't put this one too high up the list, to be honest, because I'd much rather work on cadence and cardiovascular stuff. But if you want to, it does have value to it, so it's worth throwing it into your training every now and again. And it's basically just some strength training. So find, one of your local hills and just get it in a high gear and just feel your legs working hard to turn the pedals. Basically, it's just feeling the strain in your legs. Really low cadence, which is way lower than it ever should be. Having said that, in last year's Etape on the Col de la Jouplaine, which is like 10% for over 10 kilometers, there were a lot of people climbing like this, and they were in a bad way, so you don't want to be there. But yeah, just keep it smooth still, keep your cadence smooth, don't be jerky, don't mash on the pedals, keep it as smooth as possible, keep your heels high as you come around, so that it's nice and smooth. So we've come off the slope slightly now. There's another bit up here coming up. Just get over to that, and we can do a bit more. And yeah, you know, if you want to go really crazy hard, then you can put it in the big ring like that, really high gear, and then just feel the burn. Just keep it, work hard, work the legs hard. And this is something you can do for a good few minutes, so that you know, you're really working those muscle fibers. But as I said again, I mean, this is something you might want to do for like 5 minutes a week or something. I wouldn't really spend too much time on it unless you really want to. But, so here it gets a bit steeper. So I'm going to try and hold this gear. I'm in 7th gear, big ring. The cadence is going to drop. It's about 5% here, I suppose, and it feels tough. Trying to keep the cadence at about 40 or so. It's quite hard. Pushing hard, pulling hard as well. At these sort of low cadences, you can pull on the upstroke. So you see the heart rate stays relatively low when you're doing this kind of thing. It's muscle work. There we go. So that's the steepest bit. One subject we haven't touched on too much in these videos so far is your core strength, which is quite important, but it's not something that I tend to specifically concentrate that much time on, because if I'm not cycling, then I'm using this thing quite a bit, and I can tell you after a few hours of this, you've done enough core strength. So if you don't happen to use one of the biggest chainsaws in the world, then it's probably a good idea just to make sure your stomach, shoulders, back, neck are all reasonably fit, because you do actually use them more than you think when you're cycling, especially if you spend time out of the saddle like I do. So you know, that's all useful stuff. Okay, so just to finish quickly, here's the pie chart for April. Hasn't changed a great deal. We've just reduced the zones 1 and 2 and increased 3 and 4 slightly. 5 stays the same. Still no point going too crazy, but it's just that quality focus on some of your zone 4 stuff, really.